Understanding how aperture works is incredibly important if you want to be more creative with your photography and learn to do things like blur backgrounds or control exposure. So investing a few minutes watching this week's photography tutorial could be a major benefit if you're new to photography or you're just a bit confused about aperture and how it works. Welcome to the Photo Genius channel. Hi, Paul here from Photo Genius. Welcome to my channel where I post regular photography tutorials, all designed to help you get more from your digital camera so you can take better photos. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you enjoy the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up because it does help the channel grow. Now, this week's video is all about aperture and how we can use it to improve our photography and be more creative with our cameras. Now, in this video, I'm going to feature both Canon and Nikon cameras, but the features and the tips that I share and what you learn, you can apply to any camera that has manual functions. Now, one of the first things you're going to want to do is get your camera out of the auto mode, because in the auto mode you can't do things like change aperture or any of the key camera features, and this really holds you back and stops you from being more creative with your digital camera. So in this video we're going to be using a camera mode called Aperture Priority. Now, to select this, there's a camera mode dial on the top of the camera. Just rotate this round to either the A or AV depending on which camera you've got. Now, once we've selected Aperture Priority, we're going to set the camera's ISO to 200. Pressing the ISO button on the back and then using these buttons either side of the set button allows us to change the settings, as does the dial on the top of the camera. If you turn this, you can also use this to select the options. We're going to go for 200 ISO, press set to lock this in, and the reason for the lower ISO is it will give you cleaner looking images. Rule of thumb where possible is ISO, keep it low. To change the ISO on a Nikon camera, look for the I button. It's usually on the back of the camera. When you press the I button, there will be a series of options that will be displayed on the screen, and using the multi-selector, just simply select ISO, press OK, and choose from the options. Again, I'm going to go for 200. And we're done. So what exactly is aperture? Well, aperture is a feature of the lens. It has actually nothing to do with the camera itself. An aperture is actually an opening or a hole within the lens that allows light to pass through it. Now, by adjusting the size of the aperture, we can control how much light passes through the lens. Think of it a bit like a tap for light. With a tap, we can control the flow of water. With the aperture, we're controlling how much light can pass through the lens. A larger aperture will allow more light to pass through the lens. Now, we can use this to make our image brighter, whilst a smaller aperture will of course let less light through the lens, and we may choose to do this if we wish to make our image darker. Now, the current position of the aperture is shown as what we're going to call an F number. Now, you can usually see this on the LCD screen on the back of the camera, and these numbers can be quite confusing. For example, a large F number does sadly not mean a large aperture. Likewise, a small F number does not mean a small aperture. Effectively, the numbers are back to front. Now, when I first started getting into photography, I found this incredibly confusing. All I can say is you'll get used to this with practice. A great feature found on some Nikon cameras is this animated display, so you can clearly see the position of the aperture. Now, because we've made the jump from auto into aperture priority, we now get to make some changes. On this particular Canon camera, it's as easy as turning the dial on the top of the camera to change the aperture. If you've got a Nikon camera, you'll probably find the dial is on the back of the camera. So far we've learned what the aperture is, how we can control and change the aperture, and of course how the F numbers work. The next step is to see how we can use the aperture to be more creative photographers. Now, as well as controlling how much light can pass through the lens, adjusting the aperture can also allow you to control how much of your background and foreground is in focus or out of focus. Now, this is called depth of field. Let's take a look at some example images. Note here that whilst the subject is clearly in focus, so is the background. The water and the island in the distance are all sharp. Now, the same goes for this image. The foreground, subject and background all in focus. This is called a greater depth of field and is partly due to using a smaller aperture. Now, taken just a few minutes later, clearly these images have a blurry background. This is a shallow depth of field and is achieved by using a much wider or larger aperture. To demonstrate for you how effective Aperture can be as a creative tool, I'm going to take some photos of this keyboard. Now I'm placing a roll of Kodak film to mark my focus point. Now if we view this from above, you will see the camera is on the right, and this is what the camera can see via the lens. The red dot marks the focus point, and this then is our plane of focus. For the first image, the aperture is set to f11. This gives a greater depth of field. So as you can see, the keyboard is sharp, but so are the items in the background. The laptop, my phone, and the Mac keyboard in the foreground. All are in focus. But open the aperture wider to f3.5, and this gives us a much shallower depth of field. So the roll of film is sharp as it should be because that's the point of focus, but now we see the background items and the Mac keyboard in the foreground are now out of focus. Now this week's video is aimed at the beginner, which is why I chose to feature Aperture Priority mode. It's a great mode because it allows you to experiment and play around with different aperture values without having to worry too much about the shutter speed. Now earlier on in the video I did mention something called ISO. I featured it in another video, you'll find a link in the description below. But as I often say in my videos, my recommendation is ISO, keep it low. So I think 200 is ideal. Now in terms of aperture, for most day-to-day photography, shooting between f3.5 to f8 if you want a greater depth of field should do you just fine. Remember, for landscape photography you're going to want to close the aperture down a bit more, and I recommend f11. However, if you are shooting with a smaller aperture, remember that's a larger number, you may wish to consider using a tripod because the camera is likely to be using a slower shutter speed. When using the Aperture Priority mode, it's also worth knowing that you can also take advantage of something called exposure compensation. Now this is a great feature that allows you to make your image brighter or darker. Now to adjust this, all you've got to do is look for the button with a plus minus icon on it, hold it down and turn the dial. So on this particular Canon camera, the button's on the back. All I've got to do is hold it down with my thumb, turn the dial on the top of the camera, and I can adjust the exposure. Using the Aperture Priority mode means that you get to set the aperture to whatever you want. Here I'm choosing f8, and the camera then sets the shutter speed. Now you will also see the camera's light meter displayed on the screen, and typically an indicator will appear at the middle. This indicates a balanced exposure. But what if you want a brighter or darker image? Well, simply hold down the exposure compensation button and turn the dial on the camera. The camera will then adjust the shutter speed, and the indicator will move to the right or left depending which way you turn the dial. Just remember to reset to the 0 marker in the middle when you're done. And if you want to find out more about exposure compensation, look out for the link at the end of this video. So I really hope you've enjoyed this week's video and you've learned something about aperture and you're keen to get out there and put it into practice. If you did enjoy the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It helps the videos get noticed. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you would like to support me and this channel, you can either hit the super thanks button, you'll find it down there, or maybe treat yourself to a Photo Genius t-shirt. All that's left to do is to say thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. See ya. Bye.